Toby, and the light source is hitting the right side of his face. And I can't believe I'm about to say this. I never thought I would say this in my entire online career. But look closely at Tobey Maguire's dick. Look closely at Tobey Maguire's dick.
The funny thing about the negabands on the TV show is that they're actually meant to be a big callback to the OG version of Captain Marvel, the very first version, who was a man called Mar-Vell, who did appear during the Captain Marvel movie in the MCU, but he was played by Annette Bening, so they changed the character just a little bit. What? What the fuck? But he was played by Annette Bening, so they changed the character just a little bit.
Do you wanna take a life? Do you want to cross that line? Because it's a long way back from hell.
God damn, Gary. Some serious gourmet shit. What flavor is this? That's right, it's the all-hell medium roast private blend. Check out the Geek Grind Coffee Nerdrotic page for our other options like the Decadent, Feathers of Liberty, vanilla-infused flavored coffee. Or if you're looking for something darker, try the Dark Roast FNT blend of the Fellowship. You know what? Just buy all three. GeekGrindCoffee.com. Use discount code Nerdrotic. Huzzah!
Nerdrotic.com.
I've got my pocket Mr. T.
I pity the fool. I pity the fool. I pity the fool. Quit your jibber jabber. Quit your jibber jabber. Quit your jibber jabber. Quit your jibber jabber.
Quit your jibber jabber. Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to the Nerdrotic Nooner. You know, I forgot to share it on Twitter. I guess I can do that while I'm live. I
can multitask.
Why not?
Figure it out.
Why not?
You got two hands.
How's everybody doing? We're close to on time. Only 12 minutes. That's not bad.
Yeah, it's pretty good actually.
I have to update my computer.
Hey, my bad for yesterday, everybody.
Man bun is gone. Oh, I'm gonna
never
slice it off slow with
never going.
fucking butter knife. That's what
You
I'm
can't
gonna
catch
do.
me. You can't catch me.
I can catch you.
You can't catch me.
Yeah, I may be 52, but I can catch
Spry.
you.
Quit your jibber jabber. Quit your jibber jabber.
Hey, wow, we got a week till Comic-Con.
Dude, around the corner.
So much shit going on right now. Miss Marvel's flopping. Kenobi is it's dipping. Reva's lightsaber is a big flop.
Oh wow, I saw that.
Lots of flops going around at Disney Marvel right now.
You love to see it.
You love to see it. Inflation reached 9.1%.
Jesus.
I think that's low. That's a low estimate in my opinion.
It probably is.
Yeah. Best economy in history.
It is. Hey, at least the euro is now equal with the American dollar for the first time since 2002. So we're bringing you down too, Europe. And what else? Oh, Rings of Power is dropping a trailer. There's been a leak already in Portuguese. Maybe Dan Vass can come and translate it for us. Yeah. But he's a stinking man bun wearer.
Yeah, my man bun brother.
They did, Park Hoppin did a poll on Crocs today, and I just said Crocs are the man bun of feet.
That's
no,
perfect.
it's Ugg boots, dude. Ugg boots are the worst.
Oh yeah,
hated
they
that,
smell
the
worse. I mean,
trend.
at least a Croc is plastic, right?
You could wash it out.
You ever see Mike Judge talk? He was on Joe Rogan talking about Crocs and like how they're in idiocracy, and he never thought they'd like take off and become the thing. He just thought they were stupid looking. So good.
I love Mike Judge.
Mike Judge is fucking awesome.
Legendary.
Total legend.
Garrett,
That's
Garrett,
a guy
did you see
I'd
the
love
new
to get
Beavis
on. What was that?
Did you ever see did you see the new Beavis and Butthead movie on
I
Paramount?
haven't. I
Plus?
saw that one scene and it made me want to see it. So
It's so good. It's just they're not changed at all. They're just the same Beavis and Butthead from the 90s, just
Beautiful.
in the present. It's so perfect.
So good. Oh,
Perfect.
I have white privilege.
Oh.
It's so good. It's so good. It needed to happen, and the fact that it's on Paramount Plus, like the wokest, that's like streaming.
Yeah,
service.
that blew my mind. I was
Yeah.
like, how is that possible? How'd they like get past their censors?
Yeah, I mean, you go, wait a minute, Gary. Disney Plus is woke, and everything else is woke. Paramount Plus just doesn't have anything worth watching, but it's the wokest. I don't know if you guys saw their Jordan Peele's Twilight Zone, which was garbage. As garbage as Star Trek. It's just Star Trek overshadowed it. But they wisely canceled Twilight Zone and didn't cancel Star Trek. They kept making more of it. To the point where it's now like Stockholm Syndrome Star Trek. We're like, I think Strange New Worlds is
getting
good.
better.
Don't worry, I'm going to talk about Strange New Worlds someday. I've not forgotten. They're just not high on my priority list right now. I've got so much stuff to watch, and I want to watch the Terminal List first.
Dude, I just finished it 2 days ago. It's great. It's a great
Primal's
show.
back.
Dude,
Primal,
yes.
Primal. One of
Yes.
the greatest shows ever. So yeah. Oh, and we're gonna do some quick intros, and then we're not gonna bury what the lead is, and you can all guess it. But first, we have the great Chris Gore. How are you, buddy?
Garrett, it's great to be here. I'm doing great. I'm just kind of stressed out because I'm going to be in San Diego a week from today for preview night, and coming back to Comic-Con, it's going to be weird. And then I found out that this is funny. So Gary and I are the whole team is doing an event in San Diego on Thursday night, July 21st. I'm screening the rough cut. It's kind of a test screening of Attack of the Dock. First time it's going to be seen publicly at 7 p.m. at the Hillcrest Cinema, the Landmark Theater there. I think tickets are sold out, but there's a chance that if you just show up, you could get in. And then there's the meetup after. But here's what I found out. G4 is actually doing a panel at the exact same time as the screen.
Yes. I got the email.
No. Yeah, exactly. I know.
No.
And one of the things in the pitches they said is, when is a hot dog a sandwich or something? Like, I don't know who's on the panel. It just seems like a lot of the new people, but it's just sort of weird that it's like, oh, it's at the exact same time we're doing our screening that we announced a couple weeks ago. That's weird.
See, this is where like I wish there wasn't stupid restrictions and we can get Chrissy out there, and if Frosk is there, have Chrissy be in full.
Oh yes.
Somehow get her to ask a question. That would be just
if we could get Chrissy and Alex Stein together.
Holy, at Comic-Con,
yeah.
They have no idea how much they would blow up. No idea. None at all. Because Chris, you may or may not remember, roasting at Comic-Con was a thing between like 2010 and 2012 till they kind of put a kibosh on it. But
they used to do stuff like that. Yeah. It was fun.
It was totally fun.
I mean, I don't know. I've heard the craziest shit, like Matt Groening telling insane stories. People like, what was that one panel they would do? It's sort of a version of Drink and Draw that was very blue. And it's like, once kind of a lot of the wokeness is like come to Comic-Con, that stuff is just verboten, like you can't have like, you just can't speak freely on these.
It's sterilized.
Like,
It is.
God, I can't remember now. Sci-Fi put on a panel that was like the most un-PC panel I have ever seen. Everything was a sexual innuendo, and ripping, like I just like the people were ripping each other's races. It was great. It was so good. And I thought, like, man, we're headed into some good times. Just it was
So I
shit
think it's
so fast.
Have you ever been to Starship? Have you ever been to Starship SmackDown? Starship SmackDown. You ever hear that one? So Starship SmackDown is a panel I was on at one time, and then I brought like a pair of safety glasses and a hammer, and I destroyed an Enterprise model kit.
Oh my God.
And then I was never invited back.
I don't think I could even watch you do that.
That hurts.
Well, we were.
Why am I blanking on the show? What's the animated show with phrasing in it? God dang it! I watched it. You know where they go phrasing? Come on, chat, help me.
What?
I don't know. But this panel, so Robert Meyer Burnett's on the panel along with a whole bunch of nerds.
Archer.
Neil deGrasse Tyson actually attended this panel once. And what they do is they just do brackets and they have spaceships battle each other. And it's but they
chat. Oh my God, sorry. I'm sorry.
Everyone on the panel. It's Archer. Is it Archer?
How did I forget Archer? Yeah, like that's the.
It's a sea of Archer right now in the chat.
The girl who voices that's Archer's girlfriend, right? I haven't watched it in years. She hosted this panel, dude, and I got video of it. I'll find it. It was the craziest panel I've ever seen there. And there used to be Anything Goes with oh my God, I'm going fucking senile right now. John Barrowman. Anything Goes with John Barrowman used to be a fucking good panel too. And you can't even have shit like that now. Now instead of cool stuff like spaceships fighting, like Chris was just, we have Thursday woke panels. We'll go over some. We got some woke panels we can go.
Pull it up. Let's do it.
Yeah, let's whip it out. But so you were on this panel once, Chris, and you didn't get invited back.
Panel one. It's a bunch of people from Sci-Fi Universe magazine from back in the day, and like Mark Altman, Robert Meyer Burnett is a big feature. Robert is kind of known for like drinking Jameson during the panel. It's always the last panel. They put it at like 3 p.m. on Sunday because they always go long so it's like a 2-hour plus panel. It's the last panel that I always end Comic-Con by going to this panel because the crowd is just like, like screaming, and they get these starships. They kind of pull out of a fishbowl, like what starships, and sort of create the brackets. And it's just ridiculous. But also everyone that's on that panel is incredibly knowledgeable about the starships, what their abilities are, what their capabilities are, like, and like they take it deadly seriously if certain starships were going to fight, right? And it's so great. It's an audience participation thing, people screaming and yelling, and it's
what beats the Enterprise, dude? Like what could possibly beat the Enterprise? It's an Uber ship. Exactly.
So what it usually is it's Captain Kirk, James T. Kirk, piloting, the Star Trek the Motion Picture version of the Enterprise winning. That's sort of like the recurring joke is it's some version of the Enterprise always wins. And it's usually Captain Kirk or Han Solo, so sometimes they'll do things where they have captains. So they mix like, here's the starship, but then here's who's captaining the starship. It's so great. Like,
could you imagine Han Solo on a starship Enterprise?
No, it'd be awesome. It would be
awesome.
But they take it. This is the thing that makes the panel so fun is everyone on the panel takes it deadly seriously. They have like stats off the top of their heads. They know these starships in and out, and they know like at least the fake science behind all of them. And it's awesome. But this is, so someone's bringing up the Rippaverse here. Can we just talk about that for a second?
Yeah.
The success is insane. It's so inspiring.
He's dominating right now. Eric July
destroying, man,
is dominating. We got like little salty. I don't know if nobody saw this conversation. Rich Johnston from Bleeding Cool, like use the Rippaverse to take a shot at Mark Millar. There's lore. It's 20-year lore. Like your boy Zach got it up. Like he's hated Mark Millar forever. I don't know. Maybe Mark Millar fucked his mom and just like they didn't call her again. I don't know what the hell the problem is. Rich Johnston's from Bleeding Cool. Not a good guy. Not a good guy. He likes airing people's dirty laundry. He's like the gossip columnist of a dying industry that nobody gives a shit about anymore, and he's pretty fucking salty. So he decides to backhand Eric and backhand Miles Morales. Did I say that? Mark Millar, and at the same time, and yeah, it's just a weak attempt. It's these. You're gonna see so much of this. Eric has this giant target on his back, and he's ready for it. And the thing is, though, it's gonna be hilarious because the comic industry is so fucking irrelevant now.
Yes.
That this guy in his own corner that he built himself is the talk right now, is absolutely the talk. And yeah, his book, they're like, well, it's only 12,000 backers. Yeah, only in one day, maybe two.
One day. It's going 73 more days. This thing, it's culturally significant. It's when you look at like indie creators of all types, from comic books to movies to whatever, like this is important. It's because what that money represents, put the money aside for a second, right? And $1 million, this doesn't mean Eric July is rich. Okay.
No.
He's going to have to give a lot to taxes, as you well know. A lot goes to taxes. He's built up infrastructure. He's pre-ordered this stuff, so it's not some BS Kickstarter where it's like
he's got employees and too. Yeah,
he's got employees. Like he is creating the machine to continue this output, right? Okay, so what the money represents is people voting. They want this. They want this. I defy you to take any of these comic books. What was the one? Something in Safe Space, or what was that?
Yeah, Internet Gas.
Yeah.
Did that comic ever come out even?
No,
I heard
it
came
did
out.
not.
No, it did not. No.
It never even came out. Like, you know, that Kibblesmith jackass. Like, it's just what Ripper and the thing is I was also a little skeptical. Like, he's been talking about this for a long time, and Rippaverse sounds a little now I get it. Those videos that he did, I got chills. I'm watching this, the whole 5-minute video where he just talks about what the company is, what his promise is to the company. What's cool about this and what's amazing about Rippa just as a person is that he is the creator behind this. It's not a corporation, it's him. And when you look at any creative endeavor that succeeded, it always started with a visionary who cared about the person at the end, right? Like I get the sense he cares. And not just then when he did the second video of Isom and he explained the story, notice he never used the word black. It's just Isom. Yeah. He talked about the character, what the character was feeling, what he's going through, a little bit of the background. He never leaned into identity or any of that bullshit. You know why? Because it doesn't fucking matter. It's a compelling character, period. Again, I got on that second video, I'm like, dude, I'm sucked in. I'm dying to read this. And I haven't been excited about a comic in years. And I had friends of mine reach out like, have you heard of this thing, this Rippaverse? I'm like, yeah, I've heard of it. I bought the first issue. I'm super stoked. And people are comparing it to the launch of Image Comics, you know, when there needed to be a shift in the industry. Yeah. People didn't pay attention. This campaign, I hope it goes to 10 million. You got 73 days. It's a movement. This represents a movement. Tell us great story. And it's everything that Rip has been talking about philosophically since I've been watching him since probably 2016, I want to say. Like, I've been watching Rippa so long. I remember when he only talked about comics. And then politics, unfortunately, that's a joke. I'm not, that's a bad joke.
Here's the difference. I mean, like, oh, go on.
No, I'm just so excited about this. Like, he created an original character that is interesting and I'm dying to know about, that has not just the story we're going to read as we enter the story. There's tons of story that took place before this issue, right? Like, he built a world, and in that like 3-4 minute video I was just like, I can't. Then when I went to buy it, I kept having the site was like sluggish, which was like, oh, this is good. Like I can't even get it right now.
I was
you know?
worried I wouldn't be able to get it at all. I was like,
Yeah,
oh, crap, man.
Yeah, I missed out on some stuff I wanted, but I ended up finally getting it.
This is so significant for the industry. I don't know why mainstream press, and this is the thing that pissed me off. I just tweeted about it with a link, said, hey, I bought it. I'm supporting it. Congrats. And that was it. And I hate Twitter. I hate Twitter. I really hate Twitter. I don't like to talk to people on Twitter because you can't have a subtle conversation. People are morons. But someone called Eric July in my comments, who I muted, a grifter. Right. And I don't understand. Wow. Please.
The meaning of that word is so lost.
Okay.
I hate it.
I remember when I was selling auto parts, I was totally grifting the auto parts industry.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't have a passion for it, and I just did it for money. Eric has a passion for what he's doing. That's why he's got so much support. It's genuine passion. He knows what he's talking about. I've seen comic books publishers come and go. I've seen movie stars try to start them and they get bored within 2 issues, including the Tyrese Gibson story I told yesterday with Mayhem. I've seen people start crowdfunding, and it's not easy. It's not easy to pump out a book once every couple months, which is what you need to do. He's got a 96 pager coming out. I think the longer the book is, the longer you can take, but not that much longer, because there is something that the customer is used to, especially if they're into a good story. They want the next one in a reasonable amount of time. And what Eric did was put his money where his mouth is, and that not everybody can do. $200,000, man.
That's a big chunk of change.
But it already paid for itself. It practically, it already paid for itself. Ryan pointed it out on Tuesday Main Event last night when he was talking about the percentage that Indiegogo and Kickstarter take that Eric gets to keep now, to the tune of, I think Ryan said $110,000. I could be wrong. Wow. And by the time this is all done, it could be $200,000-$300,000 that he would have given to fucking Indiegogo that he can keep now. That is insane. That pays for your employees. That pays your rent. That can still get your cargo van. That's insane savings.
Let's talk about a second cargo van now.
Talking about a second cargo van.
That's what's great about it, is that he didn't just start a campaign to make one book. He's building a company. He got a warehouse. He's getting forklifts. He's getting rolling ladders that people are getting mad about. He's getting these vans so they can distribute. Like, he's not just doing one book. He's building the infrastructure to do
most important
what you're talking about.
QBG, and you know this because we've talked about it a lot, and I've talked about it with Chris Gore too. The one thing I hate in life is strings. I just can't stand them. I've turned down so much shit because of just the possibility of there being strings attached, because I don't like my strings being pulled.
Right.
This is like the most fucking libertarian capitalist thing you can do, and that's why I love it so much.
Beautiful.
And it's the most rebellious thing you could do, and it fits right in. And he's using his background in metal to just it's all in a culmination. And that video was fucking awesome. We'll probably show it later.
Yeah.
And like, Eric is like really a good guy. Like, he comes off all tough and everything, and he is, but he's a good guy.
He's a good guy.
He's a really good guy. And I like I said, I've seen this shit come and go, and I think in the crowdfunding space in particular, it's been around for a long time, but this has been an issue in it for a long time, since it came up with, is consistency, and there are some guys and gals out there who have been able to do it. Brian Polito is one that comes off the top of my head. And what Eric is going to do is respect the customer. And one of the issues I've had is customer service. That's our whatever you want to call this movement, this sphere we're in. It is a fan customer movement, and that never ever needs to be forgotten. Certainly people make mistakes. If you apologize, that's cool. But if the continued behavior of going after the customer, no matter who they are, the paying customer, that makes you no better than a Marvel and DC creative in my eyes. So I know that Eric will treat the customer with respect, all of them. And what he said in a live stream 2 days ago, I quoted him on it, was like, I would love you to be my customer. And I'm like, shit, when is the last time we heard that from Marvel, DC? Never. Years.
It's insane how we've seen comic book writers, creators go after fans on social media. I'm just sort of aghast when I see that. Like, what are you doing? Like,
because these creators don't have a skin in the game. They don't own any of the rights to these characters. It's somebody else's works that they're in here writing for or drawing for. So that doesn't matter to them. They can trash people. Eric July, this is his baby. He wrote it. He produced it. He's doing all the infrastructure to make it happen. So you know that he's got skin in the game. All his skin is in this game. That's why it's so important.
And I relate to that, just as, you know, pretty much a lifelong entrepreneur. Even when I was a kid, I had newspaper routes and sort of side hustles, you know, to make money, and then started Film Threat when I was 19. You know, so I know about being an entrepreneur, right? And I've failed as much as I've succeeded. To be clear, Film Threat had its ups and downs, you know, in the 90s, but like, you know, it's just so important, and he gets that. And this guy that called him a grifter, I don't know. First of all, these are people that are ill-informed, don't know shit.
Yeah.
You know, and Eric July very clearly laid out, like, the books are done. Here's the warehouse. Like you're just, it's basically the way I look at, and I actually buy a bunch of comics on Kickstarter and Indiegogo. I'll fund those. I'm like, oh, that one looks cool. Like, it's kind of like I look on it as a pre-order. If it takes long, fine, I get it, you know, whatever. But he planned it out where it's just like, nah, you send it to me now, you get it the book in August, and there you go. But what you pointed out, Gary, is really important, is that consistency. I mean, I think as a 96 page, I mean, that could definitely be like a quarterly or, you know, 3 times a year, you know, each issue being kind of almost like an event, you know, like a big deal. 96 pages that's not a short story there. So yeah, I'm just pumped about it, because I can't remember the last time I read a new comic. I mean, I pretty much just go for old comics whenever I go to a convention. I like to buy old issues of What If. Like, I'm talking about the old issues of What If, not the newer ones.
I've got the entire set.
Favorite. Oh yeah, lucky. They're so good. They're so good. I mean, they're like uber nerdy, and I love that. Did you see that somebody actually already made a meme of what if what if Miles Morales was Isom?
Dude, somebody please. I need to see it. Oh my god,
that's beautiful. Tuesday night's main event.
One thing I want to point out, like, listen, I don't know. I sold comic books for 10 years. I don't know everything. I'm not, but like, the one thing that I do know is, if you're going to, Eric July said, I am taking on Marvel and DC, and I believe him. And I know some of his plan, not all. I mean, and I know he's going to try to do that. And I know he knows consistency is what's going to do that. You can like come out with the great Battle Chasers. I always bring up Battle Chasers. It was a great book. It's a great book. Never fucking came out ever again. Like, you know, or the Ultimates, Mark Millar's The Ultimates. It sold well. It was on the precipice of like changing the industry, and then it just petered out because they couldn't get it out in time. That happens a lot. I mean, it's okay with some books, you know, Dark Knight Returns, late. Yeah, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to take on an industry, well, learn from the mistakes of Image. Image started out great. I don't think they had a lot of very good business people outside of McFarlane, who's still around, and the guy's a business genius, and a comic book icon. But the other guys were just artists that they wanted to draw, and they wanted to be free, and that's great. But there needed to be more consistency, and they did good at first, and then it petered out. And now what is Image now? You know, it's like fucking the NPR, the PBS of comic books. It's all a bunch of woke shit. But you know, it was good for a while. And they had a little resurgence in 2010, but they couldn't maintain that. And it might have been part of their business model. A lot of people can parse that out. if they want, or it could be just the comics started making a downturn. But Image started when shit was good. Like things were booming when Image started. Like Eric's like doing this, I think, at a really good time when Marvel and DC Image, they all suck across the board. You know, Dark Horse has been sold, so I don't know what's going on with them. But they were, to me, always like the best, most consistent publisher. They didn't overproduce anything. They made a lot of money translating anime, and they had Hellboy, you know, which was fucking cool. But Star Wars for a while, which was really good with them. But like what Eric's doing, he's got there is a hungry market out there that he is going to exploit, because Marvel and DC, quite frankly, don't want us around. They've made it abundantly clear.
Yes.
I saw Kelly Sue DeConnick was making the rounds on Twitter again. If you don't like my politics, don't buy my book. A lot of people took her up on that.
Yeah.
Yours truly.
Well, what's great about Rippaverse is it's not just somebody trying to exploit a situation. Like, it's not just like, oh, I found a niche here and people are hungry for comics. He is one of the comic book readers that was hungry for comics and wanted this to be a thing. Like, they literally fucked up so bad in the comic book industry, they made Rippa. They made him. If they were doing right, if they were on top of the ball, he would be like, all right, cool. These are all great. I'm going to keep reading. But they aren't. They fucked up so bad. They created the monster that's going to kill them. Yeah.
And Rippa's going to have to do this for a long time. He knows it, you know. And he's going to have everybody coming at him, but that's going to help him. That's going to help him, because quite frankly, he'll have better books than Marvel. You know, which is hilarious. Let me
100% agree, Gary. I'm sorry, Gary.
That's all good. Crushinator for $100. This has been a great week. Rippaverse. My second daughter was also born today. Well, congratulations. Nice. Chilling in the hospital and listen to my favorite entertainment. I will soon have two girls dancing and singing to the FNT theme song. Oh, that's awesome.
Nice.
Hail to the fellowship. Well, congratulations on the little baby.
This is the dad stream, so you're welcome here.
This is the dad stream. You're more than welcome here. Thank you for the $100 and congrats, man. If I had a cigar, I'd smoke it right now. Okay, Chris, you were saying, sorry. Chris? Oh, he probably went back to work. He's editing his movie, dude.
Well, I'm sorry. I was going to grab more coffee, but no, dude. First of all, congrats on your child. Congrats on your child. Being a parent, that is, people don't understand how that. I mean, it profoundly changed me. I became a young dad in my early 20s, and it changes you. It rewires your brain. It prioritizes. It gives you purpose. It's I recommend everyone do it. You know, be a parent. It's you learn a lot. So congrats again. But no, this what's interesting about the success, and I hope just Rippa, like, look, you made $1 million in 24 hours, and hopefully it'll be the final result will be even more. But it represents, like, this is stuff he's been talking about for years, like these tokenized characters. It's something he talks about, right? Where you take an existing character and you just change their gender or race. It's pandering. It's so weak, and it's the only way to legitimize Black characters in comic books that no, they're great. Look, when I was growing up in the 70s, okay, I used to read Captain America and the Falcon. I freaking love that comic. I don't know, you remember, Gary, the 70s run of that. It was Captain America and the Falcon was my favorite. I had the Mego action figures of both Captain America and Falcon, and that Falcon costume was pretty ridiculous. Let's be honest. It looked, you know, that sort of white and sort of bright red. It was a little cheesy. I didn't care. I liked that they had this friendship and went on these events. It was just like, it was awesome. An original character. When they brought like Sam Wilson into the MCU, I was pumped. I was just like, holy shit, I never thought I would see this as a kid, you know? And I think that is in the MCU, one of the relationships that worked really well. But man, like what's happening in comics today, someone needs to do some sort of study to look at, are these comic books successful? Do they resonate? And do people like that shit? You know, I'm not sure how I feel about Sam Wilson becoming Captain America. I think that's a little cheesy, and I never read that comic run, so I don't know how that happened in the comics. It just seems a little forced to me. I just rather have him continue to be Sam Wilson. I don't get like why someone has to. I don't know. I kind of feel like that you just retire that character, right? Like, fine, have him go away or come back in a bit. I don't know, but what Rippa's doing is creating these original characters. That's what's always needed to happen, always. And I feel like it'll have a much bigger appeal. I don't think he even understands what's in store in terms of like, you've got merchandising opportunities, you've got, you know, potential film and TV stuff. Who knows? Down the road and establish, you know, I mean, look, movies have been made about less popular comics, right? I mean, Mystery Men, how did that become a comic? I mean, it did. Or how did that comic become a movie? Although I would have loved to have seen Flaming Carrot, because that comic,
man, why'd they cut him out? Sad.
Yeah,
that would have been so
Mystery Men's
weird.
great. Well, the Tick has had so, and it's all been great. Every bit of it has been great.
Yeah.
You know, The Crow. Yeah. The Crow was like a little gothy comic that not a lot of people heard of, and turned into an all-timer movie.
Yeah.
So it's I mean, we'll eventually talk about Miss Marvel here. Rippaverse has already outsold the new Warriors. Shout out to Daniel Kibblesmith. Kibblesmith. Jelani Wood for $5. Thank you very much. Yeah, dude. Like, we're in the Miss Marvel now. I haven't done a comprehensive list of what they've introduced. I'm going to go off the top of my head. Echo, Agatha Harkness, Miss Marvel, Bug Girl. I'm sorry, the Scarlet Scarab.
The Dung Beetle.
The Dung Beetle. Help me out here. What other derivative characters? Whatever they're going to call Monica Rambeau, which could be 3 different names, but should be Captain Marvel. They've introduced her. They've all got like these uber cosmic powers. Shang-Chi, of course, and Marvel's Katie. Marvel's Katie. I forget Marvel's Katie and Shang-Chi's sister.
Obviously, Lady Thor.
America Chavez. That's what they've introduced in Phase 4, compared to Captain America, the Hulk, Thor, Iron Man, even fucking Ant-Man, Vision, Hawkeye, Black Widow, Spider-Man. And this is what they followed up, and they're like, how come we have to I can't understand. I don't get it. Feige is full of shit. Has always been full of shit. He had a good team around him for a long time, and then he systematically got rid of them and replaced them with Victoria. The X-Men are not men Alonzo. And now we have the culmination of producers letting shit go to their head and thinking all this stuff is there because of them. Because we all praise Kevin Feige, but there was we don't hear any of the other names that helped build this MCU. Edgar Wright, Joss Whedon, Jon Favreau, Robert Downey Jr. was mental in a lot of it. And you can feel their loss now. You can absolutely feel their loss. Now, Robert Downey Jr. got old. You recast the fucking roles. I never understood why they haven't recast. They recast James Bond. That seemed to work out okay. And that was Sony's original plan with Spider-Man. They were just going to recast every 3, 4, 5 years, which they should have done. You know, it didn't work out with Andrew Garfield, but that's at Kurtzman's fault. I blame Kurtzman. So what do they have? They just had Doctor Strange and Thor back to back, and the movies are doing well relatively, but you can see the cracks in the armor now, to the point where the Access Media is even talking about it. And people are complaining about working at Marvel, and Miss Marvel just came out to, I think more critics watched it than actual people. Because nobody fucking watched it. Nobody watched it. And
it was the critics and the crickets.
And apparently, I mean, it's not like the worst of the Disney Plus shows. I mean, it's not one I'm going to be uber interested in, but spoilers, she's a mutant. So they made Miss Marvel the first mutant in Marvel.
Jesus Christ.
It's like
I just don't. I feel like what's settling in is just Marvel fatigue. Marvel fatigue. I think
100%.
It's Taika fatigue is what we're all feeling at this moment. But it's no, I'm serious. I feel like the best thing that Marvel could have done is shown some kind of restraint and just after Endgame ended it. And that is a story that is a 10-year arc. That's a story that they told from the Marvel universe, ended. Then what they could have done, Gary, they could have started a new Marvel universe set as a period films in the 60s with introducing the X-Men in the 1960s, introduce the Fantastic Four in the 60s. And I think that the themes in the X-Men because X-Men has always, been sort of underneath the surface and kind of on top of the surface, been about prejudice. It's about prejudice of all types.
It became that.
About that.
Yeah. That wasn't its beginning. Its beginning was Stan Lee didn't want to invent origins for superheroes. He was like, that is the one of the. He was
going to make a lot of superheroes at once.
You got to remember, like Stan Lee, like how he came up with Spider-Man. He's told the story a million times. He saw a fly in the wall. He wanted to make a fly man. They're like, let's do Spider-Man instead. Okay, and then Steve Ditko designed him, right? Or Kirby, depending on who you talk to. I think it was Ditko, but
that's what I love about that era is that they just tried everything, and then the stuff that stuck. And they were like, all right, let's go into Spider-Man. They were like doing all kinds of crazy superheroes in little book series, like 3 issues here, 4 issues there. And then whatever, caught everybody's eye was what became huge. As people forget that. Like there were so many comic book characters that just don't get thought about because they didn't work.
Oh, look at this. We need to stop letting ourselves be queer baited by the MCU. Wow. Hang on. Hold on.
Oh, they're waking up. They're waking up.
They're eating their own.
They are.
Almost like we've all been saying this same shit for years.
Oh, my God. The fucking copium that people are choking on right now. It's beautiful. I'm going to applause. Oh, dude. I am getting the weirdest request because of my press pass for.
Oh wait, I got mine right here.
I'm getting like fucking interview requests. Yeah, dude, it's like my email's blowing up with.
Yeah, it's insanely.
Request you for an interview with like this thing you've never heard of, and I know, but like if Rings of Power asked me, okay,
Oh, do it. Corey,
we'll do it.
I'll go.
You got to do it.
Oh, I will fucking go. Tell me, what creative decision was behind leaving Celeborn out of the entire series and making him dead? That would be my first question. Does Galadriel have a penis?
These are serious questions for serious times.
Yes. Okay, so we need to stop letting ourselves be queer by the MCU. We need to start seeing the pattern and stop falling for the same tricks. God damn it. Who has been saying? Yeah, almost this exact thing
every time one of these shit movies comes out. Oh, it was us.
Oh,
We've been saying it the whole time.
Oh my
That's
God.
Right.
I need a clip of Razorfist saying, fuck you.
I was right.
I was right. By the way, he's going to be on Friday Night Tights this Friday.
That's right.
He's got a book too that we will show you. He's got a fantasy book that he is releasing or has released, I believe. So self-published too. So we got people creating stuff all over the place. Looking to corporations for meaningful representation is always a mistake. LGBTQ plus people are a market, and appealing to them will remain a temporary pillar of support dictated by profits above all else. Our existence can be brushed away to appease international audiences while huge companies continue to support damaging legislation that puts our rights on the line because we can't groom children. Yet the allure of the rainbow capitalism will never cease. At least not until we start paying attention and demand that things change for the better. Like Valkyrie and female Thor vigorously scissoring in the middle of a Thor film, which quite frankly would have made it better. But or look for queer stories elsewhere from smaller, more marginalized creators who actually have something to say. If you see yourself as marginalized, then you are, but you're the one who marginalized yourself.
Yeah.
That is such a bullshit theory put forth by the Marxist fucks who just want to destroy everything. You're not marginalized as an individual.
You know how the companies are using you, so are the Marxists. The Marxists are using you. They're saying you're marginalized.
You're marginalized,
so they can get more power. You see how you're still being used?
That's you staying in a cage.
Yeah.
Life isn't fair. Some people get born rich. A lot of people don't. Most people don't.
Life.
Go look at the homeless population of San Francisco right now. You know what? It's pretty diverse and inclusive. It's a pretty broad spectrum of what this country is. And that's a lot to do from the pharmaceutical companies. But yeah, there is a way to get you out of that cage. And it's through individualism. It's through self-help. It's through realizing that you're not marginalized. Things might be stacked against you a little bit. That's life. Sometimes that's circumstance. And again, no, it's not fair. But screaming that life isn't fair and whining that you're marginalized isn't going to change your individual life ever. It's you got to pull yourself out, whatever situation it is. And there are many positive ways to do that. But wanting to just tear everything down because you don't want to do the work is essentially what a lot of the politicians, companies want. They want you to feel that way, so you are reliant on them instead of being reliant on yourself, which again ain't easy. But we hear words like, fucking privilege. I felt so privileged when I was sleeping under a bush. I just felt the privilege all over me. It kept me warm at night as I was sleeping under a fucking bush. I had, it sucked, but I got out of that. And if I can, you can too. And I've seen people get through worse, much worse. I've seen people get out of like the worst gangs you can possibly imagine, get out of be in prison for 2 decades and turn their life around. So anybody can do it. But once you realize that you fundamentally believe that life is not fair and it's not going to bow down to me, I'm going to have to live within it. It's a mindset that not everybody has, quite frankly.
Yeah.
Most people don't. It's being fucking spoon fed to you from these fucking corporations. That's absolutely right. The reason they're not wrong in this article. The reason they're pandering to the alphabet squad right now is because that's what the government and the corporations working in tandem, which is that fascism?
It's a little bit, yeah.
It's a little fascist.
Yeah.
Has dictated. So the grants, the funds are all going to these. Yes. Oh, by the way, all of these giant corporations get tons of grants. Tons. Silicon Valley gets some of the most. And they are all trying to socially engineer a better world. Again, watch Silicon Valley season 1 by Mike Judge. You will see what Silicon Valley is. It's supposed to be a parody. The thing is, even people who work there said, man, this is really fucking accurate. And it's the funniest shit you'll ever see. And it's also like, holy crap, these people have money and power. And same thing goes for Hollywood. I digress. Now comes Thor: Love and Thunder, the latest blockbuster from what was his name again? Taika. What did Chris call him again?
Yeah, what was it?
Taika Fatigi.
Taika Fatigi. And Chris Hemsworth. Poor Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, he gets the shaft all the time. I mean, he's making a lot of money though. So
Does he
I
get
guess
the- I
there's
hope-
that.
I don't think he gets the shaft. I think he's straight, but give myself that one.
I don't know. He goes to the gym a lot.
He works. According to Taika Fatigi, everybody's queer. Maybe in his world.
It's Hollywood.
I believe that in Hollywood. I do. Now, I don't know if it's voluntarily or it's required to get the job. I think it's the latter. That seeks to build upon the soft reboot of Ragnarok. Ever since the first trailer, queer audiences have been hoping that the film would break the usual curse and actually have the stones to include LGBTQ plus representation, characters, and themes that aren't confined to supporting roles or passing references. The stage was set. Thor's not gay. It's a Thor movie.
And you're 1% of the population. Like, just get real. That's what you just.
There is no shortage of films, of independent films. Chris could probably name 10 right now, or shows on HBO that explore LGBTQ plus themes and really what Quarterblack said, I would argue overrepresented.
Way
overrepresented. But like fucking make them. If people
that's great that you have your own stuff.
Great.
Yeah.
But you know what? Make the original shit. Stop making all the characters who are established one way gay just so you can have a little victory and not give a fuck and not buy the shit and just end up tearing it down like the entire industry is doing right now. Is it the LGBTQ plus individual's fault? Of course not. They're pandering to that individual, and there's a lot of you here, and you're more than welcome. Always welcome here. But I'm talking about the political aspect of it, the leftist political
movement.
The movement. The movement should always be for that quote. I hate the word now because it is normalized. You've always been normal. Okay.
Yeah.
In my eyes, anyway, you've always been normal. You're not abnormal. Okay.
Again, it's like labeling yourself there. You're saying you're not normal. Yeah. You're not worthy. It's like, why are you putting those labels on yourself?
Marginalized. Well, how are you going to feel normal if you're being called fucking marginalized all the time by the people who are supposedly your friend? That's bullshit.
Like, fuck you. I ain't marginalized.
Exactly. Like, fuck you. The stage was set even more with woke titty coming off a project like Our Flag Means Death. Yeah, like that's fine. Do the Our Flag Means Death. I'm not going to watch it, but go for it. Not to mention Tessa Thompson touting that bisexuality was a big topic of conversation when she kissed a girl's hand and said she was on Team Jane. Two scenes they could easily cut out.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, may the woke eat themselves. Ta-ta.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Let's get back. I want to get back to this. This is okay. So I've talked to Chris about this. I've talked to you guys about this. I have talked to people behind the scenes who work for Disney, Star Wars, and Disney Marvel. I'm not going to say most. I'll say some people just are there. It's their job. And they dreamt all their lives to work in Hollywood. They trained a lot of the person I talked to was self-taught. And they've worked really hard to get where they were because they love film. They love art. They love Marvel Comics. And they are caught in this corporate nightmare right now to which they don't know how to get out. While it's easy for me to say, I still think, and I strongly encourage these people I've been talking to speak out, to speak up, speak out, talk now. I don't think you're going to get fired. I really don't, because if enough of you start speaking up, they can't fire everybody. For one, there's a shortage of they
have to hire you.
Yeah. So, but now this is not one of those people, by the way, but you're going to start seeing a lot more of this. VFX artists are refusing to work with Marvel due to stress and unrealistic deadlines. Now, I think this is one of them speaking up to try to defend their work, which they absolutely have a right to do. Like their names, although they're buried under 3,000 names at the end of the credits, are on this work, and they're not happy with it. They're not signing off. But there's a balance here, and I mentioned it yesterday. It's not like they're going to the salt mines. They're making little pixels on a movie for a living, and there's amount of gratitude that has to be there too. But if you're not having fun and it's sucking your soul out, then yeah, by all means leave. For one, don't stay at a place where you're just fucking miserable, because you'll be miserable. It'll affect your personal life and everything. Sure, the money's great, but you're this miserable person walking around all the time. Fuck that. That's something I learned when I was older, that, it's great on the resume to have you're at a job for 6 or 7 years. That's great. But like 4 of those years fucking sucked. It's like, fuck that. I'm going to go find a place where I'm happier. And I started doing that, and it worked. It worked. Stay a place a couple of years, start like sucking balls. I'm like, okay, bye. I'll go somewhere else, and that worked for me. It was new and different.
That's the way to go. Like I worked at in an office, and it's like soul crushing, and it really did affect my entire, like how I interacted with my wife and my kids and my whole like aspect, because it's overbearing. So yeah, and it definitely does feel like, I can't ever leave because I'm relying on this job. But ultimately, if you leave, it's
that's the company's job to make you sound super, and you are expendable and replaceable. But that's why it's really important to get a skill, like a marketable skill.
Yeah.
Trade school.
And no, not at Crowder. That's not what I'm talking about.
No.
I'm talking about corporate job before Crowder. Like that was soul crushing.
Yeah. When I was doing the parts thing after I sold the comic shop, I started at fucking like O'Reilly's, like at the bottom of the ladder. And then
sometimes you got to do that. Yeah.
Crawled my way up, worked at this German car shop where the owner was fucking pill popping nutball. Left. Then I went to a dealership. It was great until they screwed me over on one paycheck. I'm like, fuck you guys. Bye. And went to another place. And then Tesla found me on LinkedIn. And went there, and that was my last corporate job ever. By the way, ever. I will sell fucking hot dogs on the corner of the street. Fucking corporate.
Yeah, there's just something specific about corporate that sucks.
Never again. Real quick, Gary, I would actually argue that it's important to have a job you hate at a certain point in your life, because the lessons you take away from that. I mean, look, I worked at everything from a video store to a gas station, to Burger King, the late shift in high school, to restaurant work, and have worked for corporations. And I freaking hated it. And Garrett, you're right. It is soul sucking. But what it's also, what I learned from it is it's motivating, because I never only had that job. I would have a job and I would be doing something on the side, whether it was like working on Film Threat or some film project. I don't think I've ever had one job at one time. I've always had the job. I call it a Mick job. It's a job you hate that motivates you to do the thing that you want to do. And it's incredibly important. And also I learned a lot actually from working in the corporate world. I learned that I could do my job in the corporate world in the 8 hours that they basically had me. I could do that job in less than 3 hours without any of the bullshit distractions. What I did is I applied a lot of the lessons in terms of infrastructure, process, scheduling, and I applied that to my own work with Film Threat. And that's how I've been able to be efficient, is I learned how they did it and thought, oh, that's great. That's really inefficient. One thing I learned is a lot of unnecessary meetings. So people appear to be busy, and they need to have some sort of relevance, or they need to justify their existence and their job. So they put meetings on the calendar, create all sorts of, those people are annoying to me. And we have very few, we have a once a week meeting that we don't always do at Film Threat called Jedi Council. We talk about what needs to be done. We make all this dumb efficiency software. Let me tell you all the software you need. I have a notepad. I make a list of to-dos, and then I do everything on the list. That's it. You can all get all this like work.
I hear.
That's it. Yep. I have yeah, exactly. I don't know. You have a binder. I have a notepad. I have my notepad. My girlfriend got it to me. It says business bullshit. And I just make a list and I just check things off the list, and I delegate to other people, and I make sure I delegate to them first because they're waiting for an answer from me. So their priority. Then I do my stuff, and that's it. It's not that hard to do. And it's also just follow through. That's why I think, like, like Eric July, once he's spent 2 years not just creating, but also building a process. I assume there's a process, and he's going to make mistakes, and that's fine. That's how you learn, but wanting to own it himself. I will say this, what Eric July could make a lot of money on is just licensing that crowdfunding, the platform that he used to crowdfund. He should let other people use that, take a small percentage. He could get so many other creators coming to him, and he has to do nothing. He could do nothing. Rip-a-fund, whatever you want to call it.
Rip-a-go-go.
Rip-a-go-go, whatever you want to call it. Like, there needs to be a competitor to Indiegogo, which I have huge problems with. I stopped using them.
Yes.
Their big BLM statement. They're in San Francisco, so they're a San Francisco-based company that can turn on people anytime. They haven't because for now, but Kickstarter didn't turn on people for a long time too. Okay, so you always got to keep that in mind. I mean, by all means, use them if they're not fucking with you. Use them, but like, just be ready for them to pull the rug out from under you at any moment. I mean, like, websites now offer this, right? They offer subscription services. Like Rippa, went a step further and built his own infrastructure, and that is a brilliant idea. He could totally fucking do that.
Yeah, and I like the ideas in the chat. Ripstarter.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. No, for real. Like I'm gonna be doing another crowdfund for another project soon, and my experience with Kickstarter. There's a lot of I don't want to get too inside on this. That's a whole other stream I could do on crowdfunding, and I'd love to actually share everything I learned about it, just to pass it on to other people who want to do projects, who want to do a movie, a comic book, whatever, an indie project. Crowdfunding, it's a double-edged sword, and
I can talk about it. I would recommend having your book done if you're doing a book.
Yeah,
like especially if it's your own comic, if it's a 24-page comic. I mean, honestly,
I'm still waiting for books from 3.5 years ago.
Yeah, like I would say at the, maybe the first book, but after that, have your books done. That would be my unsolicited advice, especially if you've built up some capital. Just because, and if you're doing it as a side hustle, definitely have your books done. Because for one, you'll look way better. Like, oh, here's your book, right away. And it'll show you that you can do it a lot. Because again, as somebody who sold comic books, I'm just, I know about publishing, and I know about retailing, and I know I talked to a lot of customers over 10 years and got a lot of opinions that varied wildly. But the one thing they all agreed on was they like a good story, and they like to read it when it comes out. They don't want to wait forever for it. So if you want to take on an industry, that consistency has to be right there with quality. Like, they cannot be 1A, 1B. They have to be right there. Yep. And if it's not, then you're not going to take on an industry. You're just not. And I would love to see it and love to support it. Jeremy from the Quartering mentioned this in his video about Rippa, and I'm of the same mind right now. It's like there are projects I have supported many projects financially, but I'm very hesitant to talk about it on a live stream, because I want them to be, I don't want to be involved in something that's not going to follow through. I just don't. That's not anything I'm interested in. So here I'm trying to find. There's Razor.
I think for comics, Gary,
Razorfist followed through. By the way, sorry, what was that?
No, I was going to say, like, for crowdfunding, I think it's important, especially when it comes to comics. The most expensive part of the comic is the printing and shipping. So if you can finish the comic and it's ready to go, you've got your printer and shipping process all set up. You can, I mean, you just do the crowdfund and you're like, hey, this is when we're shipping it. And then it's just a matter of the quantities, right? I mean, a friend of mine has done an indie comic, Dual Animal Studios, and I'm involved in writing. It's an anthology comic, and I'm writing one of the stories for the comic. And that's what he's setting up right now. He's going to do a crowdfund, but he's just going to finish the comic so it's just ready to go. And Rippa did it exactly right. That's how you do it. You know, that's how you do it.
This is Razor Fist's book, right?
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
Book 2.
check this out if you can. If the mods could put the link in, it's just nightvalenovels.com. This is what he shared for us. So he's going to be talking about it on Friday too. And we'll be talking about Rippa, both of them. But yeah, this is more people putting out their own stuff and having it ready. And I think that's good. Support crowdfunding all you want. I mean, that's fine. I'm not here to judge that. And like I said, I've supported a lot. I'm still waiting on a lot of books too.
Yeah.
I'm not like fretting over it though. I mean, whatever. But it does feel pretty good that I supported Eric financially, and I can't wait to get my stuff. I can't wait to review the book, because I'm going to review the book. I will do that. But check out Death Mask. You can. There's a limited signed copy. There's a hardcover. There's a paperback. You can pre-order today. Hail Razor Fist, by the way.
Hail Razor Fist.
Fucking good dude. One of the best YouTubers out there.
Hates pineapple on pizza.
Hates pineapple on pizza. It's okay. We can talk about it. We can talk about how wrong he is about that.
No, he's totally
nobody's
right.
perfect.
Beautiful man.
Nobody's perfect. That's it. Just say people can have, just really wrong, objectively wrong opinions, and it's okay. It's okay. Better together. Better together. Let's read some soup-doopsies, and then we can talk about some woke panels at Comic-Con. I'll check out. I'll bring back that article too on the VX artist.
Check this out real quick. That's pretty awesome.
Holy shit!
Look at that.
Whoa!
All of us, like there's so many of us. Rippa, Dan, got one drinker.
Even X-Ray Girl got
awesome,
up there. Look, her star is rising. X-Ray Girl. I might have to give her an extra word.
Oh yeah,
maybe I'll do a poll on Twitter.
We'll see how she works.
Yeah,
Disparu. He's got his own.
Look at Disparu. Oh, look at our boy Disparu.
Awesome work, man.
Yeah, excellent. Az is feeling better. He made a couple of videos. He sounded like he was sick though.
What happened? What happened to Az?
His brother got him sick.
His brother got him sick.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. So I'm gonna read some super chats, and I'm gonna pull up some images of some woke panels that are front loaded on Thursday. Yeah.
Yes. Before the weekend,
which is so fucking funny. Including a return of the diversity in comics panel. Your boy Zach should have never, ever changed the name of his channel. Yeah, that was just like, what are you doing, dude? That was the best channel name. Wish I could talk to Zach, but you won't listen to me. Luke 1977 for $20. Chris Gore. I would do that with my comic series 1000%. Please ask him to do that. I am sitting on 30 issues of scripts, and my first issue production run is coming next week from former DC artists. Holy shit. Okay.
Wow.
Luke 1977. Have the stuff ready to go. Especially like if you're a working guy, you got a job. What Chris was talking about, when I worked, I don't know. I mean, I did dead end jobs like working at Burger King and stuff when I was a teenager. But like when I got out of the pen, I worked at the warehouse and at delivering auto parts. And I liked both of those jobs. I was just happy to be free and working. And I'm like, wow, I get to drive around all day and listen to the fucking radio, throw auto parts at dudes and get money for it. It's great. And I usually stop off at a comic shop or Toys R Us and do a little collecting on the side. It was great. And then I had my band, but I always had like a creative thing going on at home just to balance out my life. That's so like use that as kind of like your, not even a side hustle, it's just your creative outlet. And then it might be able to become a side hustle. That's what this channel was. This channel was just something for Mike, just creatively to do. I never expected anything to come of it. it did. So, like, I'm not saying that's guaranteed to happen, but
Never know.
Yeah, Rippa Capital LLC. Yeah, maybe I can get a loan
Yeah.
from Rippa. Maybe you can loan me a few bucks. Nah, I wouldn't. Bake for $5. Thank you very much. Watching Rippa succeed is, by the way, I was very upset to hear that I'm not getting paid for all my shilling. Fuck Rippa. No, I'm just kidding. I'm happy to do it because I like him. That's the only reason I'm doing this, because he's a friend and I like him. And that's why I'm going to shill like a motherfucker for the guy. And
Yep. Jeremy's
doing it and Ryan's doing it. And it was great to see Jeremy in the quartering, who's like, rightly so. He doesn't do that all the time. And outside of himself and his coffee company, which, by the way, I bought some coffee brand coffee. I did. And it's good. It's good. Thumbs up, buddy. Now I need to try that Krigler coffee.
Yeah.
I need to try the Krigler coffee. But like, definitely, Jeremy going out and starting his coffee company. That's cool as fuck. But yeah, it's fun. But like, I just think this is the future of business. And I think it can ultimately be good once we separate from the big tech platforms, which is what Eric did with the crowdfunding. That's kind of the most impressive thing with me. The comic, good. I bought those cards, by the way, which are fucking, I can't wait to get those. But like, him starting his own crowdfunding on his own fucking website is brilliant, because that's something I want to do with I'm very grateful for the memberships here, but I'd like to have an alternative to YouTube, and I don't want it really to be on somebody else's platform. I want it to be on my website. That's the plan anyway. So that's, I'll always be on YouTube, but the other place I'll be is my own website. So I don't have to deal with any other strings, and I think that's the future of business. That's being an entrepreneur. I think that's like the purest form of capitalism. A free market is your mom and pop, and the mom and pop could be supported by 1,000 people, 500 people, 200 people in some cases, and we have just a bunch of those instead of these giant mega corporations like dominating our lives right now.
Yeah.
And that's going to take time to fracture out, but I think that's what's happening to entertainment. It's already what happened to music. I mean, the music industry is like it's a bunch of bands who have their little niche followings, and they can survive off that. And they don't have to have record contracts now. Like that's the future of entertainment. I think it's just going to be fragmented, and I don't think that's bad. I don't think that's a bad thing. Hopefully, independent film can survive this in their own way. So what they have to do is like web series, independent film will have to just have their own website and be able to steer traffic. Then they got to get out of that Hollywood machine, because independent film's getting crushed in that Hollywood machine right now, which is sad.
Well, they take up the majority of the oxygen. That's why, it's always been my mission to say, hey, check this out. Don't see Thor a second time. Why don't you see something else? Go see. And I'm doing a panel actually at San Diego Comic-Con. I just tweeted about it from the Film Threat Twitter account, where we're doing is showing trailers for indie movies, science fiction, horror, like stuff you wouldn't know about. It's just sort of below the surface. And there is a growing, it's more within the capability of indie filmmakers to make something that can compete with Hollywood on a VFX level, on a story level for sure. Mm-hmm. And I think that's why Rippa to me is so inspiring, is he's been talking about these concepts forever. And now by example, he's just doing it. What that can do is it could empower other people to say, well, can we just create some new original characters? Can we do something else? Or someone to just say, I'm going to leave my gig at Marvel. I care about this so much. I'm just going to create my own thing, and I'm just going to own it.
Why the hell would you create a character
100% of
Marvel right now anyway, or DC?
Right, true.
The only way I would even consider it would have to be the most solid contract ever of like, I get paid forever and so do my descendants. on my creation. Like there's no incentive for people to create new characters. That's why I mean, here's the dirty little secret behind the derivative characters. They don't actually give a fuck about diversity and inclusion. They don't. They care way more about maintaining the copyright with the derivative version. That's why you have Black Captain America instead of coming up with a new name or just making Falcon the leader. Like, okay, why is Jane Foster called Thor? Why can't you call her something else? Because
Thunderstrike.
They want to fuck over the Kirby estate. I mean, that's part of it. Oh, and then they go, oh, but
I want to rub it in your face too.
It's the ultimate scam. It's the ultimate fucking scam on intellectual scam on fans. And like, I'm not the only one who's brought it up. Many people have brought this up for years. Like, this is like, why did they come up with Miles Morales? Do you think I mean, it would have made more sense to have them have a similar costume, similar powers, different name, had him be like the Robin to Spider-Man for a long time and then go out and be Nightwing, right? No, they had to call him Spider-Man. Why? Because rights issues. Not because of representation. Sorry. Hate to break your heart on that one. It was money.
Typical.
Yep. Our sour cream citizen for $20 just recently watched Valkyrie with Tom Cruise. Damn good movie. I think the people in big tech and Hollywood need to try to save the soul of what they love. Have a spine. Those men in NZ have a spine. Those men in NZ Germany, like the people who took on Hitler in the end. There is no spine. The thing is, in big tech, Chris was just explaining it. A vast majority of the people who go to work at Google, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, they have about 2 hours of work to do a day tops. And I'm going on the law of averages. Some have that per week. And they've admitted that. There is a lot of doing nothing, fucking around in a really expensive office. And I think the days of ping pong tables and little snacks and people TikToking their hard work day of doing fucking nothing are coming to an end. Because you're not going to be able to afford that shit. How does LinkedIn make fucking money? I'm sure they do.
Does it?
Advertising, but how are they making money? I understand how Google's making money. Advertising on YouTube is making them a lot of fucking money. And advertising on Google. But there's a great correction coming. We've already seen the streaming bubble burst, and we might see I've seen the tech bubble burst before. It was pretty big. It was so bad. I was able to buy a house in San Francisco. The housing market, for the first time ever, dipped in San Francisco so bad that I was a poor schmuck like me was able to buy a house there. So it can happen again. I find it interesting. This article came right out after Pride Month ended. I think they're pissed because they realize these companies use them for a moment of marketing, then throw them to the curb, says Ian Carrells for $19.99. Thank you, Ian. You're absolutely correct, including that video of the pride flag just getting swiped and the girl taking the pride flag. I think that was a joke, but it's that's exactly what it was. Or shoes video of all the pride flag logos coming down right at midnight. Yeah.
Really?
They're using you. It's like with that interview with Natalie Portman that was in our video, where it's like, could you say that this is the gayest movie ever? And she's like, I love the fact that you see it that way.
I love that you read it that way.
It's not really that way, but I like that you implied that.
But Taika Waititi totally leans into that and kind of trolls the audience by, it's going to be gay. It's going to be why are you, does he feel the need to do that? Is that just him I don't know. I feel like he's just turned into something of a a jackass. I really like, you know, his early stuff. You know, there's a lot I like about Ragnarok, but he's just become I don't know. I don't know who he's is he trying to impress the two girls he's in a throuple in? I mean, and even like I don't even need to know that. I'd rather not know that about Taika Waititi. You know, I just rather not know that. I want to go back to like not knowing anything about any. I don't want any personal information about celebrities ever.
Yep.
Keep it to yourself. I don't give a shit. But he's just become.
I think he's an arrogant ass. I think he's just an arrogant ass. And there's a certain amount of that I respect. But like when you make something good, you know, Terry Gilliam could be an arrogant ass all day long. And I'm going to respect that dude. I'm just going to respect him.
Right.
But he's not. He's like a nice guy. That's what's so great about it. He's like, he's this genius, but he's also a really nice guy.
He like, can also be at times with
on set
subjects based as fuck. Okay, like especially when it's PC when
Terry Gilliam
comedy, he puts the gauntlet down, which I kind of like. But yeah, you know, Taika Waititi's not an auteur or a genius. Some people like Jojo Rabbit. I'm not going to watch it. But you know, What We Do in the Shadows, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
That was pretty good, you know. But I mean, it's not like wow, give him the keys to Hollywood. Good. It's like, you know, calm down a little bit.
He works best in that realm, the smaller indie realm.
Yeah,
more limited. Not good Lord, Thor was so over the top. Everything was a joke. It's just like completely unleashed. It's like you need to be reined in.
Oh my God!
And then he had that comment where he said some directors need to be reined in. I'm like, what? You just released this movie.
That had to be a troll.
Like, there's no way.
Like Thor doesn't even feel like it's in the Matrix anymore. It doesn't even feel like people are talking about it anymore. It feels like I said, I'm gonna forget this thing by the time I hit the car. Because it's not like the worst of Phase 4. I said that in my video. It's not the worst of Phase 4. I'd say probably it's one of the best. But they're all shit. They're like, no, I will watch none of these films I want to watch again or think about again. Nothing from Disney Plus I want to think about again. Quite frankly, to me, the MCU has not been good since Infinity War. That's a long fucking time. That's without Sony, without Spider-Man No Way Home, which I think is just a pure anomaly.
Anomaly. Wait, Gary, did you hear that they're doing a new cut of Spider-Man No Way Home?
Yeah, I'm gonna go see
What's it called? The even more fun cut or something? September 2nd. Is it a re-release in theaters or is it
in theaters? They're trying to pad the number, which they can, which is smart. And why not? I mean, that's a Sony decision, by the way.
That's smart. There is not a lot in the next. They're saying that the talk around Hollywood is the third quarter doesn't have any big tentpole movies. You know, Thor, which is gonna. I think it's gonna take a nosedive quickly. I think what we're learning about Marvel is that there is a dedicated audience that will go first weekend and then not go see the movie again. You're not going to get the kind of repeat business. I think it's small. But I think that's clear. I mean, and Doctor Strange and Thor being legacy characters, right? How is this going to translate to less popular characters? Also with Black Panther, what is that even going to be? We've seen. Right? I assumed we would have seen at least a teaser trailer during Thor, and they blew it. You know,
there's some fluff going on out there. Campia covered it. Of like. This year's box office is only 12% off of 2019 at this time, except for what came out in the winter of 2019. I think it was Joker. It was Joker.
It was Joker.
And then Rise of Skywalker came out. Like, I think Avatar is going to make a lot of money. It's going to make a lot of fucking money, without a doubt. But that's it. I think that's the only thing that's going to make a lot of money because there will be nothing out. And normies like blue kitties. I don't know, but I agree with you. I think Spider-Man re-release could do big numbers. I think it could do like legit numbers. Just because there'll be nothing going on, but there'll be so much going on television. Like, there's House of the Dragons coming back very, very, really soon. Really soon. I said a week. No, it's a month. I said a week, but it's a month away. It's a month away. House of the Dragon, month and a half away. Rings of Powers, which we have a trailer dropping tomorrow. It's already out, by the way, in Brazil.
It's out.
It's out. But it's in Portuguese. I'm going to wait till it comes out in English, and then I'll cover it. But, oh my God. Tessa Thompson pegging Taika Waititi? Maybe. Somebody said that in the chat. I'm like, okay. I just caught my eye. LinkedIn sells a subscription to see statistics on your job search and little learning courses for. Okay. Gotcha. Thank you. I was wondering how they made money off of people needing work. Okay.
Huh.
Yeah.
I'm on LinkedIn. I don't know why. I'll probably remove it. I honestly haven't checked it in a long time. A Sour Cream Citizen, thank you for the $20, by the way. And that was, UM536 Vids for $4.99. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And then we got Nate Houseman for $10 says, I just got my second channel strike for speaking facts. I can't even tell you what the facts are. If big tech really does get government money, then I'm glad their stocks are crashing. They do. They all do. They all get government grants and funds for certain little, projects. If they promise to push, say, an experimental shot, things like that. Or you think they don't? Come on. Loki 2975 for $10 says, really excited for the Rippaverse. Scared to see what the MCU will do with the X-Men, my all-time favorite Marvel property, and they will absolutely ruin it. They will. I promise you. What we're hearing about Doctor Doom, what Namor is the. Come on, did you see fucking
Namor?
An Aztec. He's a fucking Aztec.
Why do they do this? Like,
he's
what?
Atlantean. He's from Atlantis. He's not an Aztec. Oh God!
Why didn't they do like a?
I was looking so
Pacific Islander. I guess they didn't do that because DC already did that with their Aquaman, so they couldn't repeat that kind of idea.
So is Wakanda Forever going to be called Wakanda Forever still, or is it going to be Black Panther 2?
I think it's Wakanda Forever because at the movie theater there was a giant banner that said Black Panther Wakanda Forever. So I think that might be it.
And we don't even know who the main character is.
And it was the banner was just the title. There was no picture of who's in it or nothing. We've seen nothing from this movie.
Black Panther. That's how you answer that. Like, I'm very sorry. Why am I blanking on his name now?
Chadwick Boseman.
Chadwick Boseman, yeah, passed away. But the actor from Spartacus passed away, and they recast him.
Yeah,
that's what you got to do. It's sad, but it's what you got to do. Gary, wear a medieval plague doctor to the con. I should.
Full on.
Should I pick this up? It's Az.
Yes.
I'm on a show. Hi, Az. What are you doing?
Talking so quietly.
I can't speak normally, so I'm having to whisper so I can sound normal.
I'm live.
I know I'm watching you.
Are you calling to correct me on some speech or something?
Well, now I've sent quarterback Garrett a Wakanda Forever image.
Oh, you have?
Oh, okay.
Okay, I got to make sure I'm not doxing myself with my cards. Sorry, on the other side of my phone. Like that'd be great.
Number 2, I know who Sauron is.
Oh my God! Can we say it now, or do we have to say it off the air?
I'll text you it.
Text it. You sound like shit.
Holy shit!
I know it too. I'm not going to speak anymore. I'll text you it. Fine.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, boo.
Bye. Where did he send it? Because it's not on Twitter.
Did he send it in? Hang on. Did he send it? Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe it's the fever dreams.
Maybe he sent it to me. Yeah, he said he sent it to Quarterback, but like,
I don't see it.
I'm on
He
WhatsApp.
texted me.
We don't see it. We don't see it. Twitter?
I guess they don't have high-speed text in the UK.
I guess I'm about to blab who Sauron is.
Oh,
In Rings of Power.
who is it?
On a blab. I've been getting fed.
Please tell me it's a woman. It's a woman, right? Come on.
I know pretty much the entire plot of season 1. I have been holding back because I don't want to get in the spoiler game, but I just want to like expose the cringe shit. That's my like Galadriel getting bullied in the beginning is cringe. Galadriel teaming up with Tarmiriel from fucking Numenor when Galadriel never goes to Numenor and Tarmiriel is born 1,500 years later after the forging of 16 plus after the forging of the Rings of Power, which happens halfway through the Second Age. Tarmiriel is born towards the end before the fall of Numenor. So they're going to have the fall of Numenor next season, I think. Tarmiriel, by the way, gets blinded going into battle with fucking Galadriel. Gets blinded. Like, what? Are you what? It's ridiculous. It's effing ridiculous. Like,
I can't wait.
Don't let your ruler lead. You know, like if your ruler is at the head of a giant fucking army, they're usually hanging back, right? You know, unless you're King Theoden, fucking Chad. But let's see.
Oh, here it is. I see it.
Okay.
I got the Wakanda Forever. Wakanda Forever. Here it is. Can I blow this up? Make it larger? Make it a little larger.
That's what she said.
Oh, ladies.
Yeah, it better be Shatner. Oh God!
What is this? Is that a heart?
Oh God!
Iron Heart.
Oh no! Oh my God!
Wait, is this real? No.
This is gonna be the. Oh my God!
Oh my God!
MCU is here to stay, baby.
Oh man!
Whoa!
Oh man! That is
Look at-
hilarious.
Cracking Ironheart. Oh God!
Look at that chip.
So the last two movies in the MCU, Doctor Strange, Thor, two heavy hitters, were brought down by like a horrible portrayal of Wanda and fucking America Chavez. And Thor was brought down by female Thor, and even more, Valkyrie. I think Valkyrie brought down Thor more than female Thor. No, I don't think that. I know that because at least like Natalie Portman tried not to, like she wasn't great, but she wasn't like a bitch. So that always helps. This like does okay. I can't make a poll. So I'm just gonna like ask people. I mean,
every time I look at it,
asking this question, I'm trying to be as genuine as possible without laughing. Does just simple Y or N? Are you interested in seeing this? Yes or no?
Make a poll.
Can you make a poll? Make a poll.
Yeah.
But okay, wait a sec. So by just looking at this, I'm going to assume Black Panther's not even in this movie.
He is not.
Maybe as a bookend.
Well, it's probably going to be Shuri, because I mean, canonically, that does happen later on in the comics. By the way, I meant to do this yesterday. I'm going to read you Black fucking Panther's powers.
Oh yes. I was looking forward to seeing the manual.
From the manual. This is before the fucking massive retcons and everything. I'm going to read you the The Black Panther that I read most of my life, who was fucking badass, loved him as an Avenger. Thought he always had a cool ass costume. According to the official handbook of the Marvel Universe, while you're creating that poll, name T'Challa. Other current aliases, none. Former aliases, Luke Charles, the Black Leopard, alternate translation of his Wakanda title. Dual identity, it is a publicly known that T'Challa is the Black Panther, but not that he was Luke Charles. Current occupation, monarch of Wakanda, scientist. Former occupation, school teacher, citizen, Wakanda. Legal status, no criminal record in Wakanda and other nations except for Ruyarda, considered an outlaw in South Africa. Place of birth, Wakanda. Marital status, engaged. We'll go to known confidence, known allies, major enemies. Usual base of operations, Wakanda. Former base of operations, New York. Current group membership, Avengers. Former group membership, Avengers. Extent of education, PhD in physics. Powers and ability, height 6 foot, weight 200 pounds, eyes brown, hair black. Other distinguishing features, none.
Look at that.
Intelligence, genius, strength, peak human, speed, peak human, stamina, peak human, durability, peak human, agility, peak human, reflexes, peak human, fighting skills, extraordinary hand-to-hand combat, whose fighting style belongs to no one, to no known discipline. Special skills and abilities, genius in physics and advanced technology, brilliant inventor, usually, but not superhumanly acute senses. He has no powers. His suit doesn't have
miss
powers. He's just a badass. And I think, like, I've always hated the fact that they had to Tony Stark him, right? Yeah. When this guy was just a fucking badass. You could have, he should have been Batman. He should have been the Batman of Marvel. You could easily have made this guy. He has all the resources in the world as a country, and he's just a fucking badass. That's better than what they've done.
And this is what they've done.
This is what they've done.
So, Gary, Black Panther Wakanda Forever is trending, and a short synopsis of the movie is on Marvel Updates. It's like 2 sentences. I can read it if you care.
Oh, absolutely.
Blast away.
Okay, so it says in Black Panther Wakanda Forever, Shuri creates an artificial flower to gain the powers of Black Panther and conquer the ancestral plane. She expects T'Challa but meets Killmonger. He helps her become the new Black Panther. Shuri creates her own Black Panther costume. That's basically there's no T'Challa is what this is. So Killmonger is effectively taking the role that, say, T'Challa would have had.
He would have had.
Right? Yeah, there's a longer synopsis, but who knows? That sounds pretty accurate based on everything that's coming out. I mean,
how could anybody argue against MCU? It is 100% MCU. The entire Phase 4 is all replacing all the male characters with female characters, or saddling the male characters with at least 2 women. The entire movie.
Yeah.
Like, it's so you can't argue against that.
I didn't even get a ton of kickback on that. People are going, yeah, I noticed there's always like 2 girls standing around a guy.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. It's so weird. It's almost like they dictate it. It's almost like Victoria Alonso is like over her latte going, there needs to be another woman there. Fuck. Okay.
We need, wait, Gary.
Private chat.
No. You guys go. You go ahead, Chris.
I think Garrett. We need male only spaces.
Yeah.
I know a lot of women talk
like
about
lounges we used to have. Yeah.
Like men. We need like male only spaces. Men. You know what I mean? I just. I don't know. That's what we need.
AA meetings have men's meetings, but they're starting to let people who identify as men in. And
I think it's useful for both sexes, and just to have a spot where you can relax and be around people that are on your same
LGBTQ plus meetings in AA, which is totally fine.
Yeah.
There's women's meetings, there's men's meetings. But if you start that like and it's not like men's meetings are straight, like any man is welcome, right? But it's for male issues, and those are the ones like I'll go to any, but like I'll gravitate towards those. So there's no 13th stepping going on, a bunch of flirting, because there's fucking tons of it in AA, believe me. But it's like fucking vulnerable women, 30 days sober around, some guy's got like 5 years. Come on, it happens. All right, a lot. But people are people. But when it comes to like the politics of it, I even started seeing like woke politics creep into AA. Which like
Really?
Yeah, dude. Which it's been able to avoid it forever. It like made it through the 60s. It made it through the 70s. It made it like we've always. That's how like bad it's gotten and poisonous it's gotten. It hasn't taken over or anything yet, which is good. But like like if somebody starts screeching about like either Biden or Trump, people would go, "That's not the place for this. This is a AA meeting." Like we're talking about alcoholism.
Yeah.
But that's, definitely San Francisco. It popped up once in a while because people just in San Francisco need to talk about politics all the fucking time. All right. Shoot, I got to find out if I can say this.
Oh, yes.
I knew it. I knew it. I called it. I called it. Ah, yes. Another prediction right from Rings of Power. If you go back and watch my live streams and stuff, there's a character called Hallbrand.
Yes.
A human. He is a human that Galadriel saves. He's Sauron.
Evil white male.
I called it as soon as I saw the character fucking announced. I was like, it's Hallbrand. It's got to be Hallbrand. It's got to be the white male. The good-looking white male. Of course it is. Except he's human.
Yeah,
I know Sauron can shape-shift into many things.
He's trans. Yes.
Werewolf. All kinds of stuff. Vampire.
I
mean, there's probably no limit to what he can shapeshift into. So I'm not going to trip on that too much. I don't know what the limits of his shapeshifting are until after the fall of Numenor, when he can't do it anymore, when he loses his power to do that. Sauron's a shapeshifter, and then he later turns into an elf-like creature, and comes saying he is there to seduce the elven smiths of Aregion, which they're probably gonna like really lay into that word seduce. So that happens next season. I was told
make some special rings.
Would be,
you know what I mean?
Some representation of some sort in the show, but I was also told that they're going to try not to make a big deal about it and be subtle about it, because not because they're worried about gay baiting. No, they're worried about like Tolkien people getting really pissed off about it, because like you're trying to say you're honoring Tolkien's lore, and he wouldn't want anything like that in. I mean, that's just a fact. Sorry. People can twist that all the TikTok experts can try to twist that as much as they want. And like, it's just a fact.
You want to get the results of that poll?
Yes.
Are you interested in seeing it?
I am interested.
87% said no. 12% said yes.
Okay.
I voted yes, and here's why. It looks hilarious. It looks like a good time. I'm going to laugh my ass off watching that movie.
This is going to be very easy to mock. And by the way, you're already a bigot. Just
take
it. Because this is more than a movie. It's a movement. And they pulled it off with the first one. They did. But, incidentally, we got to go pretty soon. But Forbes, Black Panther. There was an article how Black Panther.
Yes.
Here it is. How Black Panther created unrealistic expectations for future. Did you see that one?
Yes, I did.
Yeah.
Did I send that to you? I think I sent it to you.
Somebody did. Scotty Mendelson, big
Yes.
Cuties fan wrote this. Oh, fuck off. I cover the film industry and love cuties. Fucking weirdo. Walt Disney, it's Disney Marvel. Thor: Love and Thunder earned another $12.39 million in its fourth day of release, dropping 62%. So if that is,
yikes,
I want you to keep that in mind. Keep that number in mind. What was the percentage? Does he have the percentage of drop on Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday from Doctor Strange here? That's what I'm curious about. Well, he spins that it's not that bad. A lot of people are spinning that it's not that bad. The box office isn't that bad. These are still good numbers. Remember, the tickets cost more. So it's fewer people buying more expensive tickets. That's exactly how the comic industry is still around right now. It's fewer people buying more expensive comic books. Peter Samedi has always had the right of it. He prints on pulp. He prints cheaper books. That's what needs to happen. If you really want to save an industry or like that, you need to look into pulp and making the comics $2 or $3. That would go a long way.
Yes.
But they just refuse to do that. For one, I asked multiple times. I'm like, why don't we go back to pulp? And I was told by Marvel and DC it was too expensive. I'm like, really?
What?
And they're like, yeah, because they're on these big rolls or whatever. I'm like, all right. So I just bought what they said. But Peter Samedi said, bullshit. No, that's not true. So they probably lied to me or didn't care or just wanted to give me some answer to get rid of the new guy who's just annoying them.
It's like, this guy's asking questions. Get him out of here.
Yep. All right. So, yeah, basically, this is a whole thing that says, I'm going to sum it up for you, that Black Panther set unrealistic expectations. And then they talk about Captain Marvel. And within this, he says Captain Marvel was sandwiched between two of the biggest fucking most anticipated sequels of all time. The stuff he was actually denying when it came out. So, yes.
I cover movies.
May have skewed the expectations of every MCU movie. The size of those numbers, especially for Ryan Coogler's Black Panther, which outgrossed the first 3 Avengers movies, suggests audience who showed up who otherwise weren't at all interested in the past or future MCU movies. I watched all Captain Marvel was the first big deal solo female superhero in the franchise and acted as a glorified prologue to the Avengers Endgame. Not really. It was marketed that way. That partially, but not totally, explains why it earned about as much as Spider-Man Far From Home. No, it totally explains it. Mm-hmm. That's why her name is off the fucking sequel. That's why it was pushed back and pushed back and pushed back, and it will continue to get pushed back. Believe me, it's not. They're not going to keep that July release date. That thing's going to fucking be a fart in the wind. No, they're in bad fucking shape right now. They are in bad shape. So we were right. They were wrong. There's a lot of going around, and yeah, we like. Dude, I've read the comic books. Chris has read the comic books, Quarter Black. Mm-hmm. Comic book companies have been trying to replace Spider-Man and Captain America for fucking ever. And they can't do it. They can't. How many times have they fucking killed them, retired them, changed their uniforms? How many times? And they have to go back. Sam Wilson, I guess he's Captain America again, but he failed in his initial run at Captain America. They had to bring
Wolverine. Did the same thing with Wolverine,
yeah. It's Girl, and now her name is Wolverine too.
Right?
She can't be X-23. Why not?
Speaking of, great Perry Chan sent me this. This is the Ironheart shirt. What is this costume? What the hell is this?
They're trying to do the Mark 1. They're trying to do the Mark 1. Oh my
God. I can't wait. I cannot wait for this movie.
This looks like Pander the movie.
When are they releasing it? February? Please.
The Black Pander.
The Black Panther?
Black Panther.
There it goes. There it goes. Tweet that out right now.
No,
Tweet that. Oh my
Gary.
God.
Should I?
There's your thumbnail. There's your thumbnail.
There it is.
The Black Panther.
Oh, that's a hot title. That's a hot title right there.
That is a hot title. Oh, Jesus. All right, we're going to read some soups. Ooh. Yeah, I'll think about tweeting that. 5 people probably already have. What's the date today? 13th. We've got Chernobog for $5 says, Gary, have you read Black Science? It is very relevant to all the multiverse movies and feels partly like the inspiration of Multiverse of Madness, complete with its own overpowered witch and everything beyond either the onion and everything, either the onion instead of the donut. Okay. No, I haven't.
I did like the first volume. It's pretty good.
They rip off a lot of shit. Like Hollywood consistently rips off a lot of shit. They rip off themselves. They artificially inflate numbers, including, in my opinion, Captain Marvel and Black Panther, and probably Endgame and everything else. I think Twitter is 30-40% bots. I think there's a ton of bots here on YouTube. I think most of this shit is fucking fake. I do. I think the interaction on YouTube is far more real than it is on Twitter, but I'm not going to say that there isn't probably 15-20% bots on YouTube as well. Easy. Well, I mean, that gets shown every weekend around Saturday night when they clear bots. When you have an upcoming channel, you notice it more. You notice it a lot more.
Yeah.
Like when you're under 1,000 subs and like every Saturday night you lose like 5 or 6 and you go, what the fuck? I didn't even put out a video. It's because they're cleaning up bots. But yeah, it's bullshit. They're lying to you. The numbers that they float out there aren't even. They're probably in the ballpark of being accurate, but they're not accurate. That's why they use the word estimate. William Owens for $10. Thank you. On the donation side, circumventing Mama Susan. Hail, Gary. Have you heard the Nightfall and Middle East, the Nightfall and Middle Earth metal album by Blind Guardian? Yeah, I have. It covers events from Melkor stealing the Cimarrols to the fall of Gondolin. Yes, it's fucking rad, by the way. I was turned on to that a couple of years ago or a year ago. Also, does the Rippaverse logo look like Wario's nose to anyone else? I can't unsee it. I don't know. I don't know who.
God.
Like Wario?
Yeah, like
Mario.
Wario.
I knew that video game reference. I got it. I had a ColecoVision. I played Donkey Kong. I didn't know who Wario was until Mario Brothers came out.
Wario.
I do have an action figure from the Mario Brothers movie, though, the Dennis Hopper character. I have that. It's actually my wife's. I stole it. Sam Punk for $6 says, just jumping in during a cultural humiliation training at work. Hope I can keep my sanity. Started with a stolen land acknowledgement pledge. No.
What?
No.
You stand up and leave.
Here's the deal.
Screw that.
It's I'm sorry this happened, but it's conquered land. That's what it is. Yeah. Like all the other land that's ever been conquered by everybody, and maybe our land will be conquered. I hope not, but probably
Indigenous people conquered the land before.
Right.
Probably people before that conquering the land before that.
And fighting each other and enslaving each other. They could have probably held off a better fight, but they were just outnumbered and technologically way behind.
Yeah.
You just weren't going to beat those guns. It sucked though. It's sad. Trail of tears. I know, but yeah, I would acknowledge shit. I'm born here. Are you born here? I was born here.
I'm indigenous. Yeah.
I mean, are we going to talk about like all the tribes that the previous tribes enslaved,
Right.
and all the
Right.
previous enslavement? I mean,
We talked about that Trail of Tears,
the
who
youth-
also was on the Trail of Tears.
Who was
Black
the-
slaves owned by
tribe.
the
Sounds
Indians. So it's going on a lot.
It's the Dakota tribe and the Utes had, I can't remember the names of the tribe, but they had an agreement for a long time. And then one side just started dominating and enslaving and selling a
The
bunch
other one.
off to slavery. So it caused another tribe to put the curse of the Skinwalker on them. That's why we have Skinwalker Ranch. They couldn't get along. But no, I wouldn't acknowledge shit. I would I wouldn't even lip sync it. I just wouldn't do it. What, are they going to fire you?
Right.
And a litany of nonsense, safe space, and barely hidden white people make things worse messages. So, yeah, dude, if you make content, I would fucking make videos on that. I would absolutely make videos on that.
Or just
lady-
leak the company, leak
Yeah.
whatever the company is. Leak. We've seen like a lot of stuff where people will take pictures during those kind of things and leak it out, and it's like, what are you telling your employees? This is just going to create division, and it doesn't. I can't. Does this kind of thing? Is there anything proven that this improves the workplace? What is the goal of the people doing this? And I'm very suspicious.
Yeah.
It's extortion.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
appeasement. So it's
a
extortion
shakedown.
by appeasement. It's like, don't call me racist. I'll do your thing. I'll do whatever. Just give me the paper.
Yeah.
I'll give you $10,000. Go buy larger mansions, and we'll do it. Just don't call us racist, please. That's all it is. Matthew Hammond for $20. The people Eric July and the rest of you are pushing back against are not playing with a full deck. They are using the hard R to describe Eric, and others on Twitter are saying Anne Frank had white privilege. And
Oh my
as
God.
Eric says, we will win. This is the great Matthew Hammond for $20. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it. We will win. And quite frankly, it needs to, like, the more ridiculous it gets, the better it gets for us. Right? Like, the normal people are going to go, wait a minute. Anne Frank had white privilege, huh?
It's starting to expose how deranged a lot of these people are, and how they're projecting a lot of their own racism onto other people. I saw the way that Eric July was treated on social media by some just these unhinged morons. This guy has success with a comic book he's worked on for years, and builds and it's successful. And the first thing is to tear him down, and to use language they accuse other people of using. It's disgusting. It's exposing these people for what they have in their heart, right? And it's sickening to witness. So I'm just. It just makes me hate social media more and more, just because
it does. And I'm really sorry that Eric and Lady Rippa have to see that.
Yeah.
But I know how Eric is taking it. He's taking it as he's taking his victory lap every time one of those dumb motherfuckers says shit like that, because I know it doesn't bother him. And if it did,
fuels him.
I would understand. I would. But that's like it's ultimately, he's victorious just for that, exposing the other side for what they've always fucking been.
Yeah.
And like that Miles Morales what if, which I still think is the just creme de la creme of fucking cell phones, like that, followed by this. Yeah, the comic industry is filled with shitty people. It's always been filled with shitty people, by the way. Hate to break that to you. That's why I wasn't really chummy with a ton of creators. Never meet your heroes. They've always been gossipy. They've always been backstabby. And the ones that are out there, the male feminists, are the ones who have always cheated on their girlfriends within the first day or done horrendous things. Yeah, they're just comic book artists. And quite frankly, it's a relative recent phenomenon. I'll say 20 years since Comic-Con, since girls started showing up at Comic-Con and parties started happening there. Because when I went to Comic-Con, there weren't no fucking parties afterwards. It was dudes smoking and being nerdier than they were at the con. Okay.
Yeah. Well,
and then
for me, it was just going to the hotel bars and you just sort of sit around and you just talk nerd stuff all night into the wee hours. That's it.
But
there
now
weren't
it's
any.
hookups.
Oh, is it?
But now people are like getting fucking laid. It's like, wow, what? Because that was just not the case. And the last con I was at that was the most women I've seen at a con ever.
Yeah.
It was like over half. None of them were buying comics. None of them. Not a single one. I didn't see a single woman going through the back issues. So there you go. Stone Cold Cold's beer cooler for $4.99. Gary, Kamala Khan is a mutant now. I know. That's how they introduced the mutants in the MCU. I know that they had Quicksilver in WandaVision, and they wait for Kamala fucking Khan, but it's not the MCU. Main timeline, not the X-Men, not the Eternals. I am in disbelief. Believe it. Making fun of Crocs, aka people that have never worked in a kitchen. Says I've worked in a kitchen when I was a kid, and I realized
Crocs didn't exist back then.
I never wanted to work in a kitchen again. Like restaurant work is not for me. I'll just say that. Hey Gary, missed yesterday, but thanks for the Buffy and Angel talk. Would you consider doing a longer vid of it? Infinity Creations for $30. Yes, absolutely. Mahler and I have committed to like doing a live stream, but we have to rewatch everything. And it's finding time to do that. But we will eventually do that. And I'll probably do a video on it eventually. The reason we have to duck out of here early is so Chris can finish his doc and I can finish this motherfucking office.
The deeper into the office you go,
like
the more complicated
dude,
it gets.
I've had to just like, I had such big plans for it, and there's so many plans. I just went, I don't even fucking know. I don't know. I'm not going to rewire this whole fucking thing. No. It just
let me know when you want me to come over. We'll do it.
We have to finish the padding over the door.
Yep.
I can't stand it. My OCD is like sees it and like I have a mini aneurysm. But now I've got the rest. I'm just getting the hot toys off the floor, and we're good to go. I'm still missing a box.
Oh yeah,
a whole box of Star Trek figures.
Yes.
I don't know where the fuck they are, but
hopefully it's in that storage unit.
I think it's in the storage unit. Dave Grimes for €5, which are now equal to American dollars. Gary, did you know the last episode of Strange New Worlds was a remake of Balance of Terror? The Klingon time crystals are back. Oh no, I heard Robert talking about it. I'm like, as soon as I heard Klingon time crystals, I'm all, yep, Strange New Worlds sucks balls. And they remade Balance of Terror. Fuck that. Mr. Grant Gregory for 5 Australian pesos. I have interviewed 2 of 3 of you. Also, Giggle Quarter Black on Urban Dictionary. I Googled. It says Giggle, buddy. Quarter Black on Urban Dictionary for truth in man buns. Yes, I would. The truth is they shouldn't exist. JSV for $9.99. Aloha from Hawaii. What would you guys think about Elliot Page being shipped to replace Ezra Miller as the Flash? Hail, pineapple on pizza is okay here. Hey, I love
it's like the origin of it.
I'm gonna get on my knees and pray that it happens because that would be
can't fuck it up anymore.
Wonderful. That would be just that would I think end it. I think that would be the one thing that would end all the wokeness and craziness. Orwell was a prophet, 1984 for $20. Please take up Elijah Schaefer's offer to take a crew down to expose the hell out of the woke panels on 3 conventions. Cheers to the fellowship. Okay. Well, I'll have Eric talk to Elijah. And I mean, like, I think we could do it.
Yeah.
I think we could do it, and we could just send him footage. Did he shout us out on one of his shows? I think I couldn't find the tweet, or I would have retweeted it, but I think he said something. It was funny. He said that we had it right, that women should be basically seen and not heard on the show. He's talking about X-Ray Girl, which is funny. We hear from Chrissy a lot, by the way. She counts as a woman too, you know.
Yeah.
The haters are already busting out the good old CG money laundering theory. The cope is strong with them for $5.
Of course.
1991. Yeah, laundering money for what? Their comic books? No, the money. See, they always project. Comic books are a loss leader now. They only exist as a write-off for these giant corporations. Otherwise, they'd be cut. Write-off and IP holder. Leftists, we need more black characters in comics and support BIPOC creators. Wait, not like that. With Rippaverse says
not that one though.
Not a lizard person for $10. I know, right? It's just,
yeah,
it's so fucking wonderful. Everything about it is.
He's up to like over 1.3 million and climbing. I mean, it's so admirable. I don't understand all this hate, or what's the grift. I paid for a comic that I'm gonna get in August. Where's the grift? I give someone money, they give me a thing. What this accusation is such BS.
They don't even know what it means.
Jealousy.
Like where it's applicable with YouTube. Here's where the grift is. So you're a content creator, and say, for example, you're calling out pop culture, but you really don't believe in it. Like, it's just like behind the scenes, you're a giant leftist and you love Biden, but you're coming out going, get woke, go broke. And that would be a grifter, and they exist. But the thing is, most of the audience figures that out eventually. You can't hide your personality forever on YouTube. This shit's going to come out, especially if you
cracks form.
Yeah, the cracks form. Figure it out. That's why it's best to just be yourself. You know, that's it. But a lot of people aren't. You know, now I'm not going to ever make a video. You know, calling something. You know, I know Lauren Southern did that. Maybe it needed to be done. I didn't watch it because I don't care about YouTube interpersonal drama. I really don't care. I'll never make something like that.
I care even less than you, Gary, and I know you don't care at all. Like any YouTube drama, if it comes up or I'm tagged in a post that I have no part of the conversation, I want nothing to do with it.
Yep.
I will just mute, and I want nothing to do with any YouTube drama. I don't care. I mean, you know, if someone starts to, I do notice that what I'll see is that when someone's channel becomes more about the channel is about the channel and not about the subject.
Yep.
That then it's just like, well, why am I watching this channel? I watch this to get Dune news or whatever, and I'm getting like drama, and that's the first thing to turn me off. But some people really love that drama, and I'm just not into it.
It's definitely a place for it. Yeah, like I'm not either. Yeah. I mean, like I think the audience knows that some people might be a little less than moral. But I mean, like when it comes to like relationships and shit, like I do not care. I don't care who you're banging. Yeah. Now, if you're coming out of this like moral grandstander, you know, like with the Jack Murphy's thing, but I mean, there was a point where I even like stopped with that because it was just funny how that went down.
It was funny. It was funny. Okay, that's different. That was a guy who self-destructed and pitted himself against someone who's very popular, Sydney Watson.
That's the reason I got at it, because, like, I mean, like, call me a simp for Sydney. I don't care. I like Sydney Watson. I think she's really good.
Smart.
Yeah.
She does great videos. I've been watching her for years. She, you know, she's brave to stand up for a lot of things that other people don't talk about, and she does her research. If you look at all her videos, she puts all of her sources in every video. It's like she's doing a report in college. She's so thorough, and she's
how it should be done,
incredible.
Right?
And Yeah, so to see that whole situation, and it just became funny because he, I don't know, that guy just the whole heartfelt thing, and then she made it into a T-shirt. That was funny.
Yeah,
That was
great.
funny.
That was a great way to deal with it. But yeah, but most of the time, and like Lauren Southern has every right to make that video, by the way. It's fine. It's not anything that I'm interested at all in. But I just don't know what good it ultimately does. I mean, I'm guessing most of you out there know that some people do some scandalous shit. And sometimes it's just a mistake, and sometimes it's continued behavior. And that's why Carrie Smith is very good at this. She's always talking about this, and I could not agree with her more. People watch people's actions, not what they say.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way it goes. And sometimes like things don't work out behind the scenes. They just don't, for whatever reason. Sometimes there's good reasons, sometimes there's shitty reasons. We're all people.
Yeah, and sometimes things just like separate, and it's not a big deal.
Yeah. Like, it's not just some big thing. It's just like, it's not working,
Yeah.
It's okay. But like getting in other people's way is not something I would ever do. Ever do. I don't care what that, like, even like when they try to take my channel down, I don't get in their way. I don't like, I'll let the truth, if I felt like it was a real threat, I would do things, but it's not, it never really is usually.
It's a lot of talk.
It's a lot of fucking talk. A lot of talk. Hail to the fellowship. I'm eyeing a 9.8 rated signed Dark Knight Returns #1 for $3,000 and a 9.8 rated signed Robin #1 for $300. Do you think it's worth it? Already got my Rippaverse. Hail, Chris. Which poster are you gonna use? Yeah. Which poster, Chris, are you gonna use for the G4 photography?
The thing is, we have this poster that we've been using for the doc. If you look, we've been using this image, but I have a guy, his name is Yegya, and he did these alternate posters. And we have like 3, and we're going to use that for when we do other marketing later in the fall. The thing is I like them all, so I want to find a way to somehow use like at least 2 of them. And we're putting out, this is funny, we're putting out a soundtrack, a music video, and then some sort of weird Easter eggs on the Blu-ray. We've got this whole thing mapped out. So there you go. I don't know if this is Yegya who's talking to me. He can. He has
3,000 for Dark Knight Returns, 9.8 signed. Seems high to me.
Yeah, signed by Frank Miller.
Yeah, signed by, who's still alive, by the way. So
I have
I would try to find a non-CG copy that you could CGC yourself. You might risk getting it a 9.4, 9.6, but $3,000 sounds, I would not pay that much. 300 for Robin #1 signed. If it's a 9.8, yeah, sure. That's $300 is a lot different than that extra 0. A signed Frank Miller 9.8 Dark Knight Returns. I wouldn't pay more than $1,000 for it, and that still might be too much. I am very much into raw comic books, so like I'll get them CGC'd myself at a con or something. But the reason people CGC them is to get that markup, and it's usually, in my opinion, 30 to 35% too high. I had no idea Razor Fist did his own comic books. It's a book. I put in an order for The Long Moonlight, which is very good, by the way. It's a pulp book, and A Mask of Death. Hail Razor, hail Gary, hail Rippaverse, and that is The Human Spirited for $5. Thank you for doing that. I appreciate that. Nerd Nation Media for $20 says, I am, by the way, I did not see the finale last night, but I am too obsessed with Skinwalker Ranch. What Rippa did for comics, I did for animation. Watch the Mr. Burger Show on my YouTube channel, the most anti-woke, anti-PC tune ever. Mr. Burger, aka Gary's illegitimate black cousin, also from Texas. Hail! We love that.
Texas boy.
Burger. Good old Texas boy there. We got Nikolai Sai Krishna Bonthala. I'm sorry, I'm fucking that up. That is 40 Indian pesos, by the way. Please watch RRR Gary with Gore. Escaped Sri Lanka. I'm glad you escaped. I'm glad you're okay. And I hope they completely overthrow that fucked up government that really starved them, fuckers. Yeah, you like to see that. And Dutch farmers. Fucking badass. Tanks, jets,
man.
fucking
Broke
jet,
onto that
dude.
on that airfield and stole a jet, man.
Fucking stole a
Rad.
jet. Yeah, Dank.
Don't mess with the populace, man. Don't mess
Dank
with
better do a Mad Lads on the Dutch farmers.
Yes.
Hail Gary, enjoying the show with the boys. I am full of heart to see you express the pain we fans of pop culture all feel. Good lad. Hashtag Rippaverse. Belfast salutes you. Platonic love, Johnny. Ladarop DOA. It is John J for 10 British pounds. That is proper money. It is.
Yep.
And yeah, Hallbrand, the original made up dude character that Galadriel meets randomly on a raft, by the way, because the boat you see here in the Sundering Sea, she jumps off of eventually. If I'm getting this right, I'm going off memory here. There's a point where she jumps off a boat and starts swimming just in the fucking ocean by herself. And then she runs across the raft. The raft has Hallbrand. The raft gets attacked by
Just happens to have Sauron on it.
a sea creature, and then a Hallbrand is Sauron.
Oh, look at that. World's so small.
It's so small. And Warrior Galadriel, with her 9-inch penis, leads a half. Well, I don't know if she leads them, but the Numenorian army is supposed to be like half female, which is fucking ridiculous. Yeah, it's gonna be terrible. All right, I'm sorry. We do have to go. We have to go right now because Chris has to finish a movie. So no Nerdrotic Nooner on Wednesday next week because we'll be traveling.
Be on the road, baby.
And I'll be on the road. I got to get a license here still. The Friday Night Tights will be as scheduled. I will not be on Real BBC, but the show will be on Az's channel, so go watch it. And yeah, maybe I'll do something Monday. I'll probably do some. I'll probably go live Monday.
I was going to suggest, we should do something then.
We'll
maybe talking about the panels. We got to go over that panel.
Yeah, we haven't gone over the panel, so we'll do that Monday.
Yeah,
we'll go over the woke panels on Monday. Sorry, we didn't have time for that today, but you got all the juicy news, and we found a good article about gay baiting. They're mad because they're gay baiting. So Chris, please plug your. By the way, yes, we have a meetup. I should probably, while you're plugging, let me whip this out. I mean, it's kind of
in private chat. I put the links there.
It's kind of full right now, but we say show up anyway.
I would say show up anyway because most people, they just, they say they're going to go and they don't go. So we're overbooking it by design because we know a lot of people are not going to show up. They just want to get the ticket. So come join the party. That's all I'm going to say. Be there.
There. So that is, so it's going to be at the Hillcrest, the New Lines. Was it New Line?
Landmark Cinemas and Hillcrest. The address, everything is there. Show up. We've got a theater that seats over 200 people, and we're going to pack it every seat. So please be there. And then the meetup, I can't wait to just hang out with everybody.
That's such a trip. That's the theater I saw Star Trek Generations, Pulp Fiction, Batman Forever, Clerks. That's where I saw Clerks because I lived in Hillcrest on 4th Avenue in the 90s. So we could walk to that theater, and that ratty Batman shirt that I wear, I bought it right across the street from the Lamb Theater. So I got it.
Nice.
There used to be a comic store around there too. By the way, that's like the gay area of San Diego, Hillcrest. That's the Pride area.
So
then
perfect.
It's perfect. And then the U31 bar in North Park, 3112 University Avenue, San Diego, California, 92103 from 9 p.m. to whenever is the after party after the movie. Please join us there. There's links that I'm sure the mods have been dropping. Again, if the RSVP is filled up, just show up anyway.
Yeah, just do it. Show up anyway. We want to make that other G4 panel look like a wimpy panel. We want to blow the socks off these people.
We'll see. We'll post some photos on social media.
Rippaverse trend? I have not seen it trending. I know it's trending, but I have not seen it trending.
It might be like trending for you. How they do that? It's
I don't understand
into
Twitter anyway. So, Miss Marvel's artificially trending. The Munsters.
Oh, good Lord. Did you watch the Munsters Rob Zombie trailer? It looks horrendous.
Yeah, I was like, that's a weird.
It looks bad.
Mashup, unless they make it like horror. But yeah, he's not a very good director, dude.
No, it looks like a student film a little bit.
It does, and he cast his girlfriend as Lily Munster. Yeah,
and she's not good.
She's not good. I don't see it, but like I'm dumb on Twitter. So, all right, but I know it's been trending. So yeah, Chris, good luck on your movie. Hopefully, it'll be done by next week.
No, we'll have it done, and then I'm doing a live stream after this ends. It'll probably be a little after 1. I got to grab a bite to eat, but we're going to be talking about Gary. This is going to interest you. There's a show coming out it's from the Nacelle Company. It's called Icons Unearthed. It is a new documentary series about Star Wars that features throughout interview with Marsha Lucas. She has not spoken in decades. I've seen the first episode, and in fact, I'm getting Brian, who directed it, on the Film Thread, our Friday morning live cast at 9 a.m. He's coming on. We're going to interview him live. It's unbelievable the stuff that Marsha Lucas is saying, stuff that I never knew about Star Wars. And George Lucas explicitly said, I want to make a movie for 10-year-old boys. 10-year-old boys. We're talking about male spaces before. In any case, stuff I never knew about the casting, about what Lucas was trying to do. And it's all from Marsha Lucas's point of view. She's really was kind of like, when you look at the old behind the scenes, she's kind of in it, but she's never really on camera being interviewed. And she talks a lot. It's kind of shocking, some of the things,
which is interesting because she's so integral to why that movie was successful, in a way, with the other people involved, but like she was huge,
incredibly integral. And so I just got the second episode of this series, and God, I haven't seen anything like this that in years that has brought like new information about it. And I wonder why like Marsha Lucas is breaking her silence. I'm going to talk to the director and find out like how they got her. Because the whole thing is she got remarried and retired to Hawaii and just sort of laid low. She was kind of out of the industry. So I can't wait to talk about it. So, but yeah, check out Film Thread and come to the live stream in like 45 minutes or so.
I will be listening.
Yeah.
I will be listening while I fix my office before my wife gets back.
Nice.
And sick. And thank you again for coming on, Chris Gore.
Always
see you in a few days. Got a lot to do now and then.
Yeah.
Quarter Black, what you got planned?
Hey, nothing for the rest of the week. Just getting ready for San Diego next week. Just did a painting stream. I passed 40K subs on my channel. Whoop whoop. So we did a little thank you. Warhammer 40K build stream yesterday. It was a lot of fun. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got. Friday Night Tights. Razor Fist.
Razor Fist.
Nice.
Very excited about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So big news and on this channel is we're anticipating the Rings of Power trailer to drop. I don't know what time, sometime tomorrow. We'll see if it's on YouTube. We'll keep an eye on that ratio for you. I will do a complete breakdown of it. I might talk about Miss Marvel too, because like it's a pretty big flop. It's a pretty massive flop. Now remember, they go in minutes. They go in like they said it was like 20 something million minutes, which is a way of not saying that people watch the whole episode or not. But remember, when it comes to views, even the hits get like 1.8 million, 2 million views over 5 days. Over 5 days, which is, I mean, incredible considering like millions of dollars are going into these. So
Yeah.
I don't know how long that could be sustainable. That's just it. I mean, I know the subscription model is like putting everything into a pie. So one thing can like suck out money, but the other make it. I just don't see what's making it. And Kenobi dipped quite a bit at the end with all the Darth Vader stuff. With the final battle with Darth Vader, it just dipped. And that was supposedly their biggest show ever, according to them. But like, how big was it? I don't know. We'll never know. But you can tell because the only thing people are talking about with Kenobi is Reva's lightsaber not selling on Hasbro, which is great. So thanks everyone. Thanks to the Nerdrotic. Thanks to everyone who left a super chat and a donation. We will see you on Friday.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace.
I need to find my.
To find the button.
I gotta find a button. I just saw it. There's too many. There it is.
So many buttons. There's the red button right there.
Not the red button.
Nerdrotic.com.